At first, no one thought much of IT. IT didn't start with dramatic music, loud reactions, or a big announcement. There was no warning that something emotional was about to happen. In fact, many people might have missed it entirely if they weren't paying close attention. IT looked ordinary. Just another quiet moment. Just another smile. Just another second in a long journey filled with performances, interviews, and memories. But sometimes, the most ordinary moments are the ones that carry the deepest meaning, and this was one of them, when Taehyung's eyes slowly filled with tears. Army around the world suddenly realized this was not just a small moment. This was something deeply personal, deeply human, and deeply emotional. Today, we're taking a closer look at that moment, not to exaggerate it, not to assume things that were never said, but to understand why this moment touched so many hearts. Because sometimes, emotion doesn't need words. For idols who have spent years in the spotlight, appearing calm and composed has almost become second nature. Smiles are often expected. Professionalism is required. And emotions, especially vulnerable ones, are usually kept private. When Taehyung appeared relaxed and smiling, nothing seemed out of place. Army had seen this version of him many times before. Gentle, thoughtful, calm, and warm. The kind of presence that feels comforting without trying too hard. There was no sign that anything unusual was about to happen. An one pause, an one gasp, an one expected tears. But then, something shifted. It wasn't sudden or dramatic. It was subtle. His expression changed just slightly. His smile softened. His eyes lingered somewhere unseen, and then the tears came. What made this moment so impactful wasn't just the fact that Taehyung cried. It was how he cried. There was no attempt to draw attention, an exaggerated reaction, and words explaining what he felt. It was quiet, and that quietness is what made it so powerful. In a world where everything is loud, opinions, expectations, schedules, cameras, a quiet tear can say more than 1,000 words. Army didn't need an explanation to feel it, they understood. Truly understand why this moment resonated so deeply. We need to look beyond that single scene. Taehyung's journey has been long, and it hasn't always been easy. From debuting at a young age to growing up in front of millions, he has spent years balancing personal growth with public expectations. Every stage, every performance, every appearance came with pressure to improve, to remain strong, to never fall behind. Yet despite everything, Taehyung has always shown sincerity. He expresses himself through music, through art, through silence, through emotion. When tears appeared in a moment that seemed ordinary, fans didn't see weakness. They saw honesty. Army has always been known for noticing the small details, a glance, a pause, a change in tone. They don't just watch performances, they observe emotions. That's why this moment spread so quickly. Not because it was sensational, but because it was relatable. Everyone has experienced it. That moment when everything seems fine on the outside, but something inside quietly overflows. An explanation needed. An dramatic trigger. Just emotion. One of the most important things about this moment is what wasn't said. Taehyung didn't explain why he cried, and that's okay. Not every emotion needs a clear reason. Not every tear comes with a story meant for the public. Sometimes, emotions are a mix of memories, gratitude, exhaustion, love, and reflection, all coming together at once. And maybe that's why this moment felt so real, because it wasn't packaged, it wasn't performed, it simply happened. And many cultures, showing emotion, especially in public, is often misunderstood. But vulnerability is not weakness. It's strength. It takes courage to be present in your emotions. Even when millions are watching, Taehyung didn't try to hide his tears. He didn't turn away, he allowed himself to feel. And in doing so, he reminded everyone watching that it's okay to feel deeply. Days passed, new content appeared, new moments were shared. But this one stayed. Fans kept returning to it, not because it was shocking, but because it was comforting. It reminded them that behind the stages and lights, idols are still human. They get overwhelmed, they reflect, they feel gratitude, they feel pressure, they feel love, and sometimes all of that turns into tears. If this moment had a message, it wasn't spoken out loud, it was felt. Reminder to slow down. Teo notice the quiet moments. Teo not dismiss emotions just because they don't come with a dramatic explanation, because even the smallest moment can carry years of feelings. We often remember the big milestones, awards, concerts, achievements, but it's the ordinary moments that reveal the most. A tear, a pause, a breath. These moments show who someone truly is when they're not performing. And that's why this moment mattered. What made this moment even more meaningful was how fans reacted. There was no pressure for answers, and invasive questions, and assumptions. Instead, there was understanding, support, and quiet appreciation. Army allowed the moment to exist without demanding more, and sometimes that's the greatest form of respect. In the end, this moment didn't go viral because it was dramatic. It went viral because it was human, because everyone has felt it, because everyone understands it, because everyone knows what it's like to feel something deeply without being able to explain why. And Taehyung, without saying a single word, reminded us of that. This moment seemed ordinary, but it wasn't. It was a reminder that emotions don't need permission, that vulnerability is powerful, and that sometimes the quietest moments leave the deepest impact. Thank you for watching. Thank you for respecting the moment. And thank you for continuing to support Taehyung and BTS with understanding and love. Purple Heart.